Alrighty, guys, it's still the brightest side of the FCT airwaves, Bright 98.7. The time is 16 minutes gone past the hour of 12 o'clock. My name is Anita, and you're still on to the Bright Midday. How is your day going? I hope it's going good. Now, you know how we entertain you over here. We also educate you right here on the BMD and also inform you. And talking about information, there's, I think I would call it interesting. A bit of information that you will be listening to in the next 15 minutes, because I have this absolutely gorgeous young man in the studio with me, Dr. Olukoya Obafemi. Good afternoon to you.
Afternoon. Thank you very much.
How are you doing this afternoon, sir?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, so he is here to talk about something I'm sure a lot of us out there don't know, because I'm also hearing it for the first time, and that's the conservation and historical research of the Kofia Hill settlement in Plateau State.
Yes.
This is the first time I'm actually getting to hear about the Kofia Hill settlement, knowing that there are people who farm on a hill.
Absolutely.
Somewhere in Jos. Pretty interesting stuff right there. And I understand that this particular project, it's a project, by the way,
Indeed,
it's being funded by a German NGO. Am I correct about that? And it's called Gerda Henkel Stiftung.
Yes.
Yes, we got that right. Okay. So first of all, Dr. Olukoya, you are the project coordinator.
Indeed, yes.
In it. So who are you? First of all, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, so thank you very much for having me. My name is Dr. Olukoya Obafemi. Currently, I'm a lecturer at Brandenburg Technical University, and I'm the founder and CEO of Olukoya Obafemi and Associates, which is the organization that is in charge of this specific project here in Nigeria. Of course, collaboratively with the University of Jos and, of course, the people of Kofia.
Okay, yes. All right. So now, what exactly is the Kofia? This whole project, what is it about?
Okay, so let me start with the Kofia, the settlement, indeed, which, by the way, Kofia, yes,
it's
yes,
pronounced
yes,
Kofia.
Yes. So
okay.
In a way, you kind of stress the R at the end.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, I'm sure you're hearing this name for the first time. So, but more or less, these people have been existing on this specific hill. They are hill settlers and they are subsistence farmers, and has been existing in this specific settlement, at least according to academic literature that's available to us, since the 200 BC. Yeah, the exact origin of these people is still subject to diverse arguments. We are not able to establish the coherence of exactly when they started living there, but at least what we have in literature is that they migrated down there during the desiccation of the Sahara forest and also during the Nile culture. So this is the basic information we have at hand, at least as regards the
Kofia,
the origin of this specific group of people. Yes.
Okay. So where is it when you say it's in? Because I really would like to know specifics right now.
Yes.
When it comes to this particular hill settlement. Is it in Jos City? Or it's outside, maybe like the outskirts of the city, or where is it located?
Okay, yeah. So Kofia is located in Kwampan local government.
Kwampan.
Yes, Kwampan local government in Plateau State, which is some 3-4 hours drive away from Jos, actually. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes.
It's that, and then you have people who live there. Like that's like where they live. That's where they reside.
Of course, I mean, being 3-4 hours drive away from Jos is just the beginning of the entire history of these people, indeed, because you still have to climb the mountains, the hills, the very rugged hills, for more than 3 hours, because there are no vehicular access. So if you want to reach these people, you really have to trek on the mountain for at least a minimum of 3 hours, because I just returned from the mountain, more or less, and
so you literally are going hiking or something, like you can say you hike.
Well, this is not even an hiking experience, because hiking is something pleasurable. Yeah, in this case, it's indeed not pleasurable, and it's not a smooth experience. You really have to pass through rugged mountains, and there's a possibility that you can really fall down. If you fall down, indeed you can die, because there's no other chance.
Okay,
so being 3 hours drive away from Jos is also only one part of the story. You have to, once you get to Kwa, which is the district, more or less the district head of Kwampan local government, then you have to start your journey over to the mountain, these rugged mountains for 3 hours.
And you have done that.
I just returned from.
I just returned
from them yesterday.
And you have people the settlers there. I'm sure they're used to just going back and forth.
Of course, I mean, to me, it's indeed a very rugged experience, but to them, it's just
a normal.
They do it every day. They do it. Sometimes they go down 2-3 times because the main market is in this Kwa, which is in the plain. Yeah. And over there, they don't have at least major markets where they can sell their farm produce. So every other time, they have to take their farm produce down there, and then they buy stuff again and take it up there. So it's to them, it's a very fun experience.
What are they called? Are they called the kofiars? Is that what they're called?
Okay, so this specific settlement is called Kofiar.
Yeah.
It is more or less the protagonist of every other settlement around that place. So the Dafiar is the man, at least according to historical available evidences in literature, is the founder of this specific settlement.
The
Dafiar, that is the man that found.
Okay.
Yes, is the founder, and of course, eventually, his offsprings moved down to the plain. So we have diverse. Villages on the plain due to diverse reasons, of course, which of course economic reason is very fundamental, because up there nothing is actually happening. So that is like their ancestral home of every other villages on the plain, including this Kwampan district head, which is called the Kwa town, indeed. So all of them all migrated away from Kofiar.
Pretty interesting stuff, I would say. Yes. Okay, so this project now, what exactly is it about?
Okay, very, very good question. Thank you very much for asking this. So, this specific settlement is one of the few settlements that was not conquered during the British colonial onslaught in Nigeria, of course, and evidently so because of their geographical location. I mean, it's quite indeed. Yeah. Once upon a time, there was at least a British officer who attempted to climb the mountain, and the people stoned this specific British officer and all of that. So, why am I giving all of this background? To establish the fact that when we are looking for settlements which has this complete indigenous pre-colonial indigenous practices in Nigeria, Kofiar Hill settlement is number one. So there are this kind of settlements where the people use dry stone to form their houses. They use dry stone to form their military fort walls. They use dry stone for almost entirely everything around there, and sometimes a mixture of dry stone and mud bricks to create this very fascinating vernacular architecture. And this is a form of practice that is under threat everywhere around the world. This kind of traditional settlement. So it's very, very important from the point of view, not for only architectural conservation, but conservation of heritage in general, to strive that we ensure that we keep these people from going into extinction. Exactly. So this is the main reason behind. I
was just about saying that should be the main reason, try not to make them go into extinction.
Indeed.
So the Kofiar people, they're okay with being, on that settlement. It just feels like when I remember a movie I saw where you have, some of the white people, the Europeans, deciding to go into the Amazons, and then you go find a settlement that are actually not open to civilization, and you're trying to actually bring introduce cultures they're not used to. And so in this case, is that what the NGO is doing? Is that what you're trying to do?
Okay, indeed. That might be maybe along the line something we might unconsciously achieve, but that is not indeed our main target. Our main target is to ensure the continuity of whatever it is they are doing. We do not intend to disrupt the local dynamics of how they have been doing
living,
because what is civilization? Civilization is relative.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
So to them, they are indeed civilized. Because I'm living now in a modern world, I think indeed they are not civilized. But civilization, like I just said, is indeed quite relative, and we intend to encourage them to continue their cultural evolution.
To literally preserve what they have.
Exactly. Not to introduce them to something that is not going to be sustainable. In their hand. To encourage the evolution of their association and dialogue with their immediate environment.
Okay. Yes. All right. So Gerda Henkel Stiftung, that's, the NGO who's, involved in this project. What are they about? Just tell us a little bit about them.
Okay. So Gerda Henkel Stiftung is a foundation, non-governmental foundation over there in Germany that supports, of course, the conservation of heritage that is under threat everywhere around the world. So this specific program under which this particular project is funded is called the Funding Initiative Patrimonies, and it's to fund a project which is targeted at subaltern heritage, that is, these forms of heritage that is under the threat of disappearance, which nonetheless it's a form of culture that contributes to the cultural diversity of the world. Nonetheless.
Okay, so now let's get a bit relaxed now. Yes, because let me ask you. Okay, now because you've talked about how you had to climb it. Why have you decided to be part of this? Is this something that you would say it's like a hobby, or it's like something that's a passion for you now? Because I'm thinking you have to climb a hill, and you just talked about how it's not. It's like really rugged.
It's not comfortable.
So it's not comfortable. So why are you doing this? Is it passion for you, or is this like, okay, I just got this, so let me just jump on it?
Oh well, no, it's not random. Yes, of course, it's quite premeditated. I am an architect by training. Yeah, I got my first degree from here in Nigeria, had my second degree from Cyprus, and I got my PhD from Germany.
Interesting.
And my doctoral degree is focused on the conservation of vernacular architecture.
Okay.
Yeah. So from that point of view, I worked during my doctoral program on the conservation of a particular historic settlement in Cyprus. So this was the case study of my research, and my interest is always on how we can transmit this vernacular architecture, which in today's world is considered to be something to be like the poster house for third world poverty. So we have to indeed change this mentality that they have when we are talking about carbon emission. They emit the least carbon emission. They are indeed quite very sustainable. They use judiciously the resources available to mankind. So it's quite very important that the contemporary architectural practice draws very carefully a lot of lessons from this kind of architecture and this kind of settlement. They have quite a lot of lessons for us. So from the point of view of my academic expertise as an expert in heritage conservation, of course I already fell in love. The first time I found out about the settlement, it was love at first sight. And the next question became, what can I do on my part as an individual to ensure that this settlement does not go into extinction? The possibility is very remote, but nonetheless, I mean, we cannot simply destroy the abstraction.
Because I was actually wondering about that, and now you just put it out there that the possibility is quite remote.
Yeah, the possibility of going into extinction is quite remote, but the possibility of them using other methods for the conservation of their built environment, which is going to compromise now the authenticity and what we love about the settlement. The possibility is very out there. That is, now they are beginning to use zinc roof, they are beginning to use cement, they are beginning to use some of these modern building materials, which has the possibility of compromising the authenticity of the culture and what indeed we love about the settlement. If I go to a settlement where there is there's zinc roofs, there is cement, concrete walls.
It kind of like takes away that natural.
Indeed. Yeah, this authenticity.
Authenticity of it.
Yes.
So eventually, you had spoken earlier just before we actually opened up the mic in about a minute. Can you talk about the farmers there, the kind of food that you can find on this Kofia Hill?
Yeah. So they are subsistence farmers, and they have this very sustainable approach to farming on the mountain where you have very limited availability of soil. It's a very rocky terrain. So they have designed this terraced approach to farming, where now they have millet, corn, yam, mentioning quite a lot of very, very interesting kind of farm produce, which and they also have some of their livestock, the cows, the sheep, the goats, and etc., which are actually available. And since our time is quite limited, I would like to just encourage you to take a look at the book of Robert Netton. So there is this anthropologist who studied in this specific hill settlement in the 60s, in the 50s, and he developed one of the most important anthropological theory, which is called the theory of cultural ecology.
Okay.
Which is easily one of the most famous theories in the world. It was actually developed from Kofiar in
So
the 60s.
let's hear that name again.
Robert Netting. So,
Robert Netting.
So yes.
So if we get on Google now, we can.
Indeed,
get
if you
all
just
of that
put Robert
information.
Netting, you will see the title of his book. I cannot remember precisely right now, but it's something about the subsistent farmers in Kofiar, something like this. But yeah, indeed, his own focus as an anthropologist was their subsistence farming. So if indeed anyone likes to know more about their farming system, their terracing systems, and all of that, that is indeed a very good book for you. But if you would like to know about their architecture now, of course, I'm like the third generation now working on this. Yeah, indeed.
All right. So thank you, Dr. Olukoya Obafemi,
Thank you very
for
much.
this information you've given us. And I definitely wish you guys the best in the conservation and historical research of the Kofiar Hill settlement. We have been educated today. And can I say thank you to Gerda Henkel Stiftung?
Indeed. I mean, it's a very benevolent institution.
I just needed to say the name.
The Stiftung, yeah. Indeed.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
So thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All righty, guys, it's a wrap with that. The music continues right here on Bright 98.7. Do not touch your dial.
Wait a minute.